Hello, my name is Daryl Robert Schoon, and I'd like to welcome you to another program of Steps Beyond Time with the extraordinary Reverend Betty Tatalajski, the founder of the Temple of Universality. Before we launch into this, I would like to have Betty explain the significance of the color of this right here.
Now, friends, you see that it's that beautiful purple. We talk about it a lot because we know, the power of color. This one happens to be seventh ray. You'll remember that, I'm sure, okay? It's the color that Saint Germain has designated and told us. It means transformation and transmutation. Well, I certainly need a lot of things transmuted for me. And so anyway, I do appreciate it so much. I just wanted to wear it and show it off. Because Frances Smith, beautiful woman from England, who facilitates our White Eagle class on Monday morning from 10 to 11 at Metaphysics World, a class which is free, of course, meditation, where she facilitates the White Eagle teachings. And since they were channeled by Grace Cook in London years ago, it is so wonderful to have a woman from London facilitating and reading as Grace Cook would. So thank you, Frances Smith. It's so very beautiful, and I do appreciate it. That's it, friends. But you know what I want to talk about today is one of my favorite places, one of my favorite experiences was Istanbul, Turkey. Now, in 2006, one of our temple ministers and I, Carolyn Larrabee is her name, beautiful minister. Well, she and I went back to Camp Chesterfield, Indiana. Camp Chesterfield just happens to be the most wonderful, beautiful, spiritualist camp in the country. It doesn't have perhaps the spirit level that it did, but it is great, and it is the best at this time, okay? Well, I had taken my students, my InnerVision students there every summer for 25 years.
Wow.
And of course, I truly love the mediums and the phenomena, the spiritual connection. And so I did that because I wanted people to meet their own teachers and to see what is called spiritual phenomena, things that are truly, you would say, magic or unbelievable. But they are believable if you get the people that can do it, okay? So anyway, I'd made friends with these mediums over the years. One of them had made transition, Reverend Norman Williams, great spiritual artist, okay? He made transition, and Carolyn and I went back to Camp Chesterfield to intern his ashes in the urn. I will tell you, he had died 6 months, made transition 6 months before, but now it was May, and the ground was softening up a little bit, and now they could put him in the garden of memory, okay? That's why we were back there. So, and that was an honor for us. So we're sitting with one of the other greatest phenomena mediums in the country, Suzanne Greer, and another beautiful trumpet medium. I was going to ask you to bring your trumpet, and I forgot. Sorry about that. Next time, okay? So we were sitting there having dinner, and Suzanne said to me, Betty, there is a woman here. She says her name is Helena, and she said the Blessed Mother wants to talk to you. I said, I know Saint Helena. You know, she built the most sacred site in Christendom in Jerusalem, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, and she also built Hagia Sophia in Istanbul. And I said, and I do want to talk to the Blessed Mother. I wonder what it is, okay? So we go into the beautiful dark room. She sits behind the desk. The lights are off.
Now, Suzanne Greer is a trumpet medium.
Trumpet medium.
And at Camp Chesterfield, all right, which is a center at that time of spiritual phenomena, which
Yes.
is really rare.
Very rare.
At that time, it was one of the few places where you
The
had psychics,
only place. The only
where you
place.
had mediums of this ability to bring in phenomena like this.
To raise a trumpet like the one that you're sitting with, okay, at home, and to allow the those from the spirit world
to speak through it
directly. Directly, instead of now, I could got the same message from Suzanne with them standing behind her and speaking through her.
Yes.
But to make it even more personal, she sits there, the trumpets rise. They levitate, and it comes over and sits here on my shoulder, and I have a tape recorder on the chair beside me, and when it rose and came over, someone in through the trumpet says, "Betty, I believe that we are in the right place." Then right over the recorder. Yes, they were, okay. So she goes into trance, and Saint Helena comes through, and she says, "Yes, Betty, we want to talk to you. The Blessed Mother has a mission for you." And she asking, and the Blessed Mother came in, Mother Mary, and she said, "Betty, my great center in Istanbul, Hagia Sophia, Hagia Sophia, different names, okay, is under attack. There are people who want to reestablish it as a church, as a Christian church." She said, "Now, I want it to remain not secular. I want it to remain secular. I want it to remain a museum for the people. Some of you know that Hagia Sophia was built by Saint Helena, the mother of Constantine, in the 4th century.
It was built as a church first, wasn't it?
It was,
Betty?
yes, a church.
Okay.
She had built, of course, in Jerusalem, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, which to this day is the most sacred site in Christendom. And we think there, and I haven't asked her, but I will, about the Church of the Nativity down in Palestine, because we do believe that she built that one too. Now, I know that if you go onto Wikipedia, it will tell you that Justinian built Hagia Sophia.
I want to bring this up for the picture.
Yes,
for
do that.
So you can see this. This is famous.
Yes.
This is something when you see this. This is in your when you see photos of Istanbul. This is
what you see.
What you see. This is what you see. And
this is the symbol of Istanbul.
And this is what you're talking about now.
And Istanbul is called the pearl of Turkey. I would say it's really a pearl of the world, Istanbul. And so she said, there are those who want to recreate it, open it up as a church.
Church again.
We do not want that. And she said, of course, there are those who want to open it up as a mosque, as it was after Justinian made some changes to it. And later on, it did become a mosque. But for the past few years, it has been a museum. So my request to you is, would you take 3 of your ministers to Istanbul and build a golden pyramid around it to protect it so that this will not happen? And of course, I said we would be honored to do that. Now, we talk about the Golden Pyramid, and I think I'll let you do that because I could make it, you know,
The Golden Pyramid we do it as a meditation.
a visualization.
A visualization.
Meditation.
And what it really is the movement up through the chakras in the body. The body,
The spiritual center.
spiritual centers. Now, at the Temple of Universality, there's people can say, well, they're a spiritualist church, and we definitely are. But we're a spiritualist church that's based on metaphysics, very, very deep metaphysics.
Metaphysical magic, we call it.
And Betty, she's telling you about Camp Chesterfield, and the truth is that this former Southern Baptist, Roman Catholic, ended up in Tucson, Arizona, living in the foothills, swimming pool, kids, the dogs, everything that modern life brings, including the anxiety and the spirit that cried out for the truth.
Divine discontent.
Divine discontent. And what happened is that Betty was led into this little spiritualist church here in Tucson, and her life changed. And she walked in there, and she was given a message by Bob Ireland.
Dr. Robert Ireland.
Dr. Robert Ireland, who is an incredible spiritualist phenomenon.
Who had worked at
Camp Chesterfield. Happened to be in Tucson, and Betty walks in, and he gives her a message, and Betty's life changed, and I'm sitting here because her life changed down the road. But she was told to take her group back to Camp Chesterfield, and Betty did, and which is an extraordinary story, because at the time Betty had been leading a group, facilitating a group in Course in Miracles here in Tucson, and she was told to take this group back to Camp Chesterfield, and she did. But what happened there, she did not expect.
No.
She was told in Camp Chesterfield in a trance circle, and who was the Sanat Kumara, Betty?
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes.
And what I want to say about
Saint Germain.
and Saint Germain,
some of the other ascended masters.
And what I've been led to believe, Betty, is that before you showed up at Camp Chesterfield, which had been there for over 100 years,
yes,
it's one of the, but spiritualism has been around a long time in the United States,
yeah,
and so you showed up there. But what I was told, or I was heard, I don't know if it's true, is that the ascended masters had never before come.
They built it.
Yeah, but they had never come
as
through.
They say, when we rent the veil between the worlds, it had to be spiritualism.
And they did it. So they opened it up. But when you showed up at Camp Chesterfield in 1979,
the Ascended Masters
came and talked to you.
Yeah.
All right?
And started working at the temple.
At the temple.
At the camp.
At the time. There. Now, here you were. Yeah. You were basically a neophyte in this world.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, you did. This stuff.
Totally.
I mean,
I still am. I think 33 years later, and I'm more.
But even then, 33 years ago, you were a real neophyte, and yet you walk in and you sit down. This world of phenomena is new to you. Yeah. The messages, the trumpet mediumship phenomena. It's like holy smokes. This is magic land.
Absolutely. I love this.
You loved it. But what happened is, I want you to tell our viewers, you're sitting there, and I want you to tell you.
In the dark.
In the dark. Now, did you know who Sanat Kumara was at this time?
No, I didn't.
Okay. All right. You did not know. Now, he comes in and tells you, what does he tell you, Betty? 1979.
He said, you're going to be ordained, which gave me real heartburn because I was loving the little church,
Yeah.
and all this metaphysical magic,
Yeah. You just stumbled into this treasure box.
And he says, you're going to be ordained. And I got heartburn. And I don't know what else he said, okay? So I went back, and I didn't sleep that night because I thought, well, what would I be ordained in?
Yeah.
What religion, nothing that I know.
Yeah.
And so I went back the next morning to another. They were there, the Ascended Masters were there, and they said, well, you got a little upset. And I thought, a little bit, you're kidding.
Yeah.
And they said, well, don't worry about it, Betty. You'll be ordained. It'll be 10 years from now. You're concerned what you're going to be ordained in. You've been Baptist, you've been Catholic and all. And don't worry about it because you're going to start a new religion. I thought, well, hot dog, doesn't that just really sound great, you know? Just what the world needs is a new preacher, you know?
And it's you. Allegedly you.
Yes. And anyway, that's how it started.
Well, see,
and
now.
they said, don't worry about it, let us do it.
Now.
Let us do it.
Now, she just told you what happened to her in 1979, all right? Now, what I want to say is this, is that the world is not like we think it is, and it certainly wasn't like what you thought it was. Yeah, thank goodness it's different. But when Sanat Kumar, I want you to tell these people.
He's called the Ancient of Days in the Bible.
All right, this is what you found out since then.
Yeah.
That he's called the Ancient of Days in the Bible.
Read the book of Daniel.
Yes.
He was in the cave
yes.
with Daniel, with the lions.
All right. This is why Tucson and the Temple of Universality is such an extraordinary place. This is a phenomena at a level of truth that just really boggles the mind. But nonetheless, it doesn't mean it's not true. The fact that it's unbelievable to the, quote, mind that has put itself in a box about what life is does not mean that life is restricted by the box you've put around life.
Right.
And what has come through here, what Betty Tatalajski's life is a testament to, is just what she's experienced. I mean, she tells these stories that are true. I mean, you know.
Well, you know, you and I both are familiar with A Course in Miracles,
yes.
which says, I need do nothing, let go and let God, and just hold the vision and let them do it and stay out of the way. So that's how it works.
And it works that way, and that's why they came and started talking to you. That's why 20 years later, Betty's sitting there, and she's in a mediumship circle with Suzanne Greer. The trumpet goes up, and it's St. Helena. Now, you're not shocked now, are you? Like you were in 1979.
No, I was just anxious, you know, to do what the Blessed Mother asked me to do.
Because in the interim, you have received countless messages.
And been to many, many countries.
Many, many countries, exactly what they told you would happen.
I just go because I get to go and meet all these wonderful people around the world, and Spirit has a message.
You were
for
ordained
the
10 years, just like they said.
To the day.
All right, you did,
day.
and you did start a new religion or a consciousness.
Yes.
They don't like to call it a religion.
It's a new world consciousness called universalism.
Where there's truth in everything. There's truth in all religions. And they told you were going to travel the world and study all philosophies and all religions.
That's
How
right.
many countries have you gone to?
Well over 100, about 140.
And how many times have you gone to the Middle East?
Next week, in a couple of weeks, will be 31.
All right. Now, all I can say is this. Because I think about it. What would I think if I was in that darkened room and they said something of that magnitude? I would disbelieve it. Just like you did.
Yeah.
Just like you thought, well, you know, you heard it, but seeing and experiencing is believing. And when she's told to go to the Middle East and do the Golden Pyramid, which is what she wanted me to talk about.
All of the trips, beloved friends, all of it is a mission.
Yes.
A mission to build a golden pyramid
wherever you go.
Yes.
Now, I was just in South America.
Yes.
And in South America, we built the Golden Pyramid in Cusco. We built it in Machu Picchu.
Yes.
We built it in Argentina. The Golden Pyramid was a series of, it was a meditation that was given.
A visualization meditation.
To Reverend Betty Tatalajski, where you move up through each of the chakras.
And each one of them ruled by a universal
master teacher.
Who are, in fact, in reality, building it as we speak.
Speak it.
We speak, and the spirit world
builds it. You invoke it through the power of vibration
we see it,
and word.
We speak it, and they build it.
Yes. And
protection.
And that's what Saint Helena asked Betty to do for her.
For
To
Hagia Sophia.
protect her church that she had built in Istanbul to build this golden pyramid to protect it.
To protect it from religionists.
Yes, who would make it their own.
Right, and because it would cause another friction between Islam and Christianity.
Yes.
And so we want this to be a museum. So she said, but it must be 4 people. Reverend Christine Fassetti right away said, I'm going. Charlotte Rule said, I'm going. But Charlotte said, I will not ask my husband for the money. He would give it to me, but I will not ask him, okay? She said, I'm going to see if I can manifest the $2,500 myself. She said she got, and Lady Nada, one of the
Ascended Masters,
was standing behind beside her. And I said, Charlotte, she just said, Lady Nada just said, you need a pink stone. So a pink, because it's heart.
Okay.
It's a heart. So I believe that I gave her one. But anyway, she says, well, I'm going to get an amethyst too, because that's the one, transformation, transmutation, okay? So she would hold it. And she said, I want to manifest this trip myself. I really want to go, but I want to manifest the trip, okay? Because I believe the law. And so she held it. She had about 10 days before we were leaving. She came home from teaching the class, the Ascended Master class, on Wednesday. Her husband says, there's something on the mantle that I believe you're waiting for. It was a check for over that amount from some place they never, ever, ever thought, even knew about, okay? And so she went. She's an angel, okay? There were 4 of us who went, and we did this. And when we got there, we didn't know this, but it was on March 21st. It was the spring equinox. It was the biggest day, biggest celebration that a lot of churches, a lot of people in that area do, but especially in Istanbul. The president, the prime minister, the generals of the army were all jumping over fires all over Turkey. There were fires all over a lot of the countries out there. We never hear about the spirituality of the people, but this ancient ritual that they were doing, and there we were a part of this great celebration on March 21st, and what was it, 2006. So we protect Hagia Sophia. We know that Wikipedia says that Justinian built it. Well, I believe the Blessed Mother, and I believe that Saint Helena, who said she built it, okay? I'd like to talk about Saint Helena again sometime. She's an incredible person, you know. And so...
See, this is the work, Betty, that you do here. This is the work you've been told to do. For example, when she asked that you do this, you went.
Can you imagine saying anything else except I'd love to go to do it?
Yes,
you know.
and you went there and did it. And this is what the Temple of Universality is all about, folks. This is not just a place where we come together, though we do. It's not just a place where we come together and worship, though we do. This is a place where the work is being done. This is a place where Reverend Betty Tatalajski was told to start it. She was told that this would become one of the centers of the new age. And it's got to start somewhere. It's got to start with somebody.
And why do you people think you came to Arizona, and how did you get here? There are no coincidences. There are no accidents. Ponder on that.
Here we are, Tucson, Arizona, the Temple of Universality, 11 o'clock on Sunday at the corner of Prince and Country Club in the Masonic Temple, Reverend Betty Tatalajski.
We just call it alchemy.
Yeah.
Alchemy. The transformation from the ego to